Hey, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we ended up yesterday. We were talking about groupthink, today, talking about groupthink. This again, the mode of thinking when the desire for harmony in a decision-making group overrides a realistic view of the alternatives, leads to overconfidence, self-justification, and group polarization. We talked about some of these other things that promote groupthink. I do want to look at group polarization a little bit. When members of a group have a similar, though not identical, views about a topic and discuss them, their opinions become more extreme and pronounced. So you all, you see this a lot on Facebook with political discussions on Facebook. You may have two ideas that are similar, but they're not exactly together. Well, as discussion happens, those opinions become more extreme and becomes more polarized. And by the end, there's a tendency for things to be really polarized. And that's essentially what group polarization is: ideological separation plus deliberation. And look back at the election from last year with Trump and Sanders are two very polarizing figures. Trump from the conservative side, Sanders from the liberal side. I think that goes kind of without saying. Other group behaviors. I'm sorry for if you can't really read this again. The transition from PowerPoint to Google, the Google version is not perfect. Social facilitation is the tendency for improved performance of a task in the presence of others. So generally what that means is when you're asked to do something and you are within a group, your performance will be much better than it would be if you were asked to do it and you were by yourself. Generally, this is because of heightened state of awareness. Remember, we talked a little bit about that earlier in the year. But there is an exception to that, and that is a new skill. All right, if you're trying to learn a new skill and then you have to perform something with that new skill in front of people, that is the exception to the rule because it's new. You're still not quite used to doing it yet. Next one is social loafing, and we see this a lot, especially when you all see this anytime you do group work in probably most classes. That is a tendency for people in a group to exert less effort when pooling their efforts towards a common goal. You all see this every day. Hey, we're going to do group work. Half the class is like, yes, and then the other half is like, oh. And the reason is you got half the class not putting out any effort, and then the other half trying to make up for that lack of effort. And people get tired of that. That is called that's called social loafing. And then another one is de-individualization. This is a loss of self-awareness and self-restraint occurring in group situations that foster action and anonymity. You see this a lot with riots and things like that. People will do things they would not normally do because the group is doing it. Whether you're rioting after some perceived injustice or whatever. But de-individualization occurs. And that brings us to Kitty Genovese and the bystander effect. We talked a little bit about this in class, or at least introduced her, but we didn't get too far into it. We're going to get a little more into Kitty Genovese today. And that leads us to the bystander effect. And in the bystander effect, and this is really, it can be kind of sad. I'm going to show a video with this here in a little bit. But conditions in which people are more or less likely to help one another. So bystander effect can increase your likelihood or it can lessen your likelihood to help somebody. In general, the more people there are around, the less chance that you will be helped, or there is the less chance that you will help because of the diffusion of responsibility. Well, I'm not going to get involved because that person there is going to. Pluralistic ignorance. People will decide what to do by looking to others. And this is one of the reasons why training is so important. This is one of the reasons why we do active shooter training as a staff. It's one of the reasons why the Army does training, is that when things go down, people generally will look at each other to decide what to do. Your brain locks up. But if you've been trained, you automatically will react, and if people are looking to see what to do, then other people will react the same as you. So, and that's pluralistic ignorance. People decide what to do by looking at others. So, you got Kitty Genevieve. Well, let me back up. This is something I want you to ask yourself. Maybe we can talk about it tomorrow. But if you see somebody in a fight, somebody getting stabbed, somebody getting beat up or whatever, would you help? If you were by yourself, would you help if you were with somebody else? Or would you help if there's a large group of people around? We would all like to say yes, absolutely, we'll help. Or somebody who's broken down on the side of the road, maybe the side of the interstate. How many of us stop and help? We'd all like to think, well, yeah, if I come across that, I'll definitely stop and help. Social psychologists would probably say, not so fast. A lot of it depends on how many people are around. And I really want you to think about that. What we're going to do is I'm going to pause this or create a new, I don't know, I may create a new video and kind of edit them together. But I want you to pause this, and posted will be 2 videos. One of them is on the Kitty Genovese case, and the other one is on bystander effect, a bystander effect experiment that was done in Britain. They're both maybe 5 to 7 minutes long, but I do want you to take a look at those, and when you get done, sort of come back to this video, and we'll move on from there. Okay, so go ahead and pause this and click on those other videos and take a look at those. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this so you can watch those other 2. All right, hopefully you all were able to watch the 2 videos, the one on Kitty Genovese and the one on the British experiment for bystander effect. We're going to talk about these a little bit more tomorrow in class, and I'm going to have some activities we're going to do, and we may even try and do an experiment or 2 if I can get a teacher willing to go along with this. I'm not sure how much time we're going to have to get all that done, because I want to talk about why we choose groups to be a part of, and sources of attraction, and attribution theory and all that. And that should get us through a lot of the actual lecture part of the unit. So that'll leave mostly just activities that'll take us through the end. But anyways, you all have a good evening. And again, make sure you look at the 2 videos. And as I said, also, I've posted the PowerPoint for the unit. So anyways, we'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.